Jordan in North Carolina. Jordan, you're live with Eric and Vi. What would you like to talk about today?
Hi, guys. So basically, I'm questioning my beliefs right now. Okay. I don't know what I would define myself as right now. I definitely am not a firm believer in God or in Christianity, but for some reason, as much of my logic mind is like, dude, God isn't real and religion is mostly bogus. I have this feeling in the back of my mind that is, I don't know if I want to label it as a gut feeling or just some sort of feeling that it's like the Christian God is real. And I don't know what to do with that feeling. And it's kind of getting in the way of this new relationship I have with this guy. He's not religious and I'm not religious, but it's like, I don't know my religious beliefs. So should I even be dating right now? So I just wanted to kind of talk through these feelings with you guys.
Yeah, that is a great topic.
And it dives right into our conversation last night.
Well, kind of, yeah.
So just to start out, only you know when you're ready for a relationship. That said, this is a journey that's going to take a lifetime. Yeah. And so if you're wondering, do I have to have X boxes checked before I'm ready? I don't think that's a problem.
Right. You're never going to get to a point where you're like, okay, I know exactly what my thoughts are about all of these topics and I'm never going to change them again. And now I'm ready to start dating somebody or start getting into relationships. So I think that if it's actively negatively impacting your ability to have a relationship, that's certainly something to think about, but you don't need all the answers. You don't need to be a quote unquote finished person in order to have a relationship with somebody else.
Exactly. Now to dive into the topic itself, Jordan, you are super not alone. It is an evolutionary thing that is built into us. Our lizard brain, that part of us that reacts quickly and automatically. It's what saved us from predators in the jungle. The gut reaction of I thought I saw a predator, right? And so having that feeling is definitely something that we all have, and you've trained yourself to put God in that place.
Yeah.
And this isn't just, okay, never mind, I don't believe it anymore. You can cognitively get there pretty quickly, but emotionally process that, you do have those neural pathways that have just been built in your brain and they're still in use. And it takes a lot of time. And cognitive behavioral therapy helps a lot with that. But what you kind of have there is a little bit of cognitive dissonance. You have two distinct ideas that cannot live in the same place at the same time because they contradict each other in your head. And it is a weird, rough place to be. But it says a lot about you that you're willing to look at it and go, hey, there's a problem here.
Right. Yeah. So why do you think it's like, I'll be having such a good time, right? I'll be laughing with my friends or I'll be doing something and then I'll be like, oh, Jordan, you're not accepting God. Like, what are you doing? Why? I just don't understand it. And then I think, oh, it's because God is trying to pull me in or something like that. That's why it won't escape me. And that's what I struggle with.
Yeah. And that is exactly what they want you to struggle with. That is the narrative that has been set up for you. You have this second narrative in your head because you have been exposed to it so consistently before you decided to move away from it. It's the same thing if you grew up in an abusive household where your parents told you weren't good enough, or you were stupid, or you weren't attractive, or whatever that script is, you internalize that, and that comes into every situation, and it can take you out of it, right? I can be enjoying being with my friends and having fun, and then all of a sudden a script starts playing. Maybe someone said something to set it off. Maybe I saw something or smelled something that subconsciously reminded me of a past memory, and then all of a sudden I'm in my own head and I'm out of it. And that is something that is not exclusive to religion, but religion certainly is a part of that. If that's a script that you were taught as a kid, then that is something that is still playing in the back of your mind. And the trick here is that the people who put that script in your head also are the ones who told you that's actually God talking to you. So you should listen to that script, and you should make that script the thing that you base your decisions on. So they not only programmed that into you, they also told you that it was from somewhere else in order to get their point across. And I'm not saying this was an intentional thing, right? This might not be an intentional lie. They may believe it. They may deeply believe it and be perpetuating this harmful worldview without meaning to.
You know what that actually makes me think of is parents who were beaten as children saying, oh, well, I'm going to hit my kids too. Why? Because it's the only way that I know how to parent. I turned out fine.
Yeah.
You know, and so if you don't have something to replace it with, you're going to find yourself in that spot. And the only thing you have is that old script. And even though you know that that old script isn't working anymore, you don't have anything new to put in its place.
Right.
And so that could be a really good red flag for you to go, hey, you know what? There's an area here that I don't have filled out. And I always plugged it in with God, but now I need to think about it some more. So you could use that as kind of a beneficial signpost on the road of your life going, every time I go down this road, I find, you know, this exit and kind of help you navigate.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. So what just like general advice would you give me?
I think cognitive behavioral therapy is a great tool for this, not just for religion and indoctrination, but just in general, being able to change those neural pathways very deliberately with the help of a person who is experienced in this area and can actually teach you the techniques is more beneficial than what strangers on the internet can say. But in addition, I would say, don't trust yourself that much. If that makes sense. Don't say, oh, I know that God is talking to me, or, oh, this is my first thought, therefore it is the best thought. Sometimes religious people will place a lot of precedence and a lot of importance on your instinct, right? Your first thought. That first thing that comes into your mind isn't you, that's God, or that's a demon, or that's somehow given to you from the outside, and that's what you need to listen to. And if you think too much about it, then you start doubting, you start questioning. That's not good. Embrace that doubt, embrace that questioning. If you see, oh, I think God gave this thought to me, sit back with that and say, okay, well, why do I think this? And it's going to be a process. It's not going to happen overnight. But if you slowly start introducing that process of thinking about it a little bit more, really digging into it and trying to prove it or disprove it, it's gonna start easing up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, from the other side of it, yes, don't trust those things as much, and also practice some self-compassion. Don't beat yourself up along the way, because you're human. You're just like all the rest of us, and that's okay. It's just part of your journey. So.
Thanks, guys. I'm definitely gonna call back with my progress and just to see how things are going.
Definitely.
And definitely.
We're saying definitely a lot.
Definitely.
Jordan, take care. Thank you for calling in.
Of course.
You know what that reminded me of? We were talking about this right before the show started. That fool me once, shame on you. Teach me to fool myself, and I'll be fooled for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I feel like, when you teach yourself how to fool yourself, and those things come in,
right, exactly,
and kick in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Absolutely.
For those of you who don't know where that's from, I'm showing him BoJack Horseman. Because apparently I'm responsible for his media habits at this point.
Apparently. I'm catching up on Star Trek, though, so that's good.